Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Nope, we'll turn on the cam. Hi. I know it's dark still. You know that it must be August because it's getting dark outside again pretty soon. It's just going to be dark. Maybe you need to get a new webcam with the light. In fact, we should move this a little bit over. It looks like it's been moved. Child moved it. Okay. Let's grab the links first. There's that. Okay. So let's pull our chart over. We are back to where we started. So it looks like yesterday, yeah, in the end, they went up, they just barely stopped us out, and now we're back down lower. Much lower. Okay, we're right at the 090, which is about the midpoint. So as long as we stay below that, I would like to continue selling. But it's super, yep, and 85 was the session start yesterday as well. So we've got to be careful. And in 2 minutes here, we'll see which way they want to start. Oh, what's going on here? Why is the ZBL weird? What happened to the ZB? Look at this. Look at this. What the heck? What the heck? Let's remove those bands and then put them back on and see what happens. It looks like the data is just messed up because it's saying that there's almost no cumulative delta. Yep. Okay, well, no big deal. We still got it on our charts that matter, so chart order that matters. So, we don't necessarily need the charts anyways. Okay, so this 085 is important. 180. So we need to clear out a lot of this stuff. It's just noise. P. Okay. 13 is an important number. Okay. Then below us, 035. I'm just going to put a P there. Okay. And I think we should take a look at these other ones. Okay, 155. And 257. Is it pivot? Okay. I think we have some significant resistance above us, for sure. And do we have news today? Manufacturing, building, housing starts. Okay. Well, it wouldn't really see much of any volume come through at all on the open. And since Delta hasn't moved a ton from yesterday, other than the few shorts. So especially if we see selling off of the news, that would make me want me to go with it. Let's pull Chrome over here. Make sure we have our news up. We might move up though. Yeah, interesting.
In equity universal monies in ADR list up close to.
Okay. Well, there was a big iceberg there, but they pushed through it. There's a little bit of resistance above us, but we could totally go through that. And they came back down. That's not what we want to see.
Up then just under 3, capping the initial 1,000. Continuing claims 1, stance 1 million. Month looking 7 spot. Zero.
I'm just trying to distract myself until the news because there's just not that much volume going through. I mean, based on where we're at, I think we could move up, but it's a very difficult question, let's just say. I think there are some people long, though. There seems to be people on both sides. Yeah, now we're pulling a little bit. Good morning, Uzi.
One minute. It's 212,000 initial jobless. Continuing claims 1,721 million. And housing starts in at 1.168 million month on month, spot 9%. Building permits 1.311 million month on month, 5%. Manufacturing sales month on month for Canada 1.1%. Prior's been 5%. We do have some revisions for the housing starts number. Prior's been downwards.
Okay.
The prior's been revised down to 12% for the building permits. The prior's been 292 million. Weekly initial job list, the prior week 200,000 with claims revised to 1.76. Fully fed business outlook for at 11 spot.
Why are they not going for this? They definitely bought in the 5-year.
6-month capital expenditures outlook for 1. 9.9 employment in 3. The prices paid index in at 55.0 and 6-month condition at 30. ADP also saying Canadian employment increased 7,600 in.
That's not a big bid. There we go. Well, there's not a whole lot above us, is there? This could go all the way back up to the high, frankly. Okay, I like that. It's better at least than you're fighting it at a 10. 10 was kind of the spot yesterday, wasn't it? Now risk, I don't necessarily like my risk location, but I'm kind of using the pre-news prices, so that's what I'm going to have to base it on. Yeah, and there was the big 7K. I got a feeling that, I don't know. It seems to me like it's just too easy for them to go back up to that 13. And you've got like a point of control all the way up at 14 halves. I really think they're going to want to go back up there. Now the problem is there's a step in the profile and the value area at this 09510. So the chances are, if we go back in, that they trade back through yesterday's profile. Not chances are, but that's a scenario. So one scenario is they come up here, they make long scenarios, they come short somewhere. We got to watch out for that. But the most likely, I think, is that they're going to come up and they're going to touch the overnight high. And then wait for equities to see what happens. But another scenario is they go up to like 16 half, which would be the other side of the profile. Okay, well, I still see the buy pressure, but it seems like these offers are a lot stronger than these bids down here, isn't it?
It's a little bit. Turkish finance now Bayrak spoke with German counterpart.
Okay. Okay. No, they did tick down, but I mean, it kind of looked to me like there was still more people willing to buy it.
More on the to meet German finance on September the 12th. Saying from the White House economic advisor Kudlow, saying the US is making great headway in Europe trade talks. Kudlow telling Fox China delegation coming to the US for talks. At the White House economic Kudlow saying the US is making here by discuss sanctions German.
Hmm. Okay, that's really suspicious. At 10.
More from the White House economic advisor Kudlow saying on Fox that the US is also progressing.
So we're 500 in queue and we're having a hard time getting filled on something where we've been having a trend up. So I'm getting out because I sense a trap. Yeah. If I hadn't have gotten out, I think I might have still hit it. We'll just see, but I think it's better to play it conservative here. Like, I feel like it took a lot to convince them to tick up there. Even though, I mean, it is an okay bid. It's an okay bid now, and they are still hitting the 10.5. Yep, and there pulls away a little bit. Yeah, okay. So what I'm seeing here is, I see a reason to move up, for sure. But it's not doing it. It's taking too long. And I'm getting fishy business at 10 now, where they should be able to buy it through easily and they're not. Now, I'm not necessarily, well, I am noticing there's a strong offer in the 5. There's a strong offer in the 5. These are thickening up, especially if we see another buy and those orders thicken up. So now ZB is kind of pointing like it's going to reverse and go move down. Okay. I actually wouldn't mind reversing here at 10 if I could get filled, but we're kind of in the zipper and I don't like the who's that? can be arrested on propaganda. That's just so fucked up. Okay. So now they ticked up and they're putting a big bid underneath of it. And this did pull. This didn't really. If this gets over 7,000, then maybe I take it. If this drops away, I think I could take it. There was a big offer here in the 5-year that's gone. Okay. So there was an iceberg there, and this 72, this 11 is getting really, really thick. I mean, like 72 is 75 is you're starting to get into crazy territory. For the summer, at least. Okay. And this trade makes me feel really nervous because I know that when you get a big iceberg that there's always a chance that they're just going to blow right through it. Okay. Well, a few pulled at 11. Good offer when they ticked back down. And they didn't go for 11. So I think that that action is really good for us.
Significant for now, but just keep.
Our economy is doing better than ever. Money's pouring into our cherished dollar like rarely before. Companies' earnings are higher than ever. Inflation is low, and business optimism is higher than it has ever been. For the first time in many decades, we are protecting our workers. Well, he's right that the economy today looks good. There's a lot of things forward-looking that concern me. Especially if we don't get this trade war thing worked out in a week or two. Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of pulling at 09.5. but we did tick down, and it's pretty significant that we ticked down there. I'm a little, I don't know. So I'm seeing everything that I want to see. For a short, that is. I really didn't expect myself to be taking a short. And it just looks like such a strong one too. It's making me a little, I don't know, like I don't believe it. I don't really have any reason to. Just seems a little bit too good to be true, you know, that much offer above us. You notice when we ticked up, they're actually stacking a little bit up here and here. Part of the problem here is the 5-year don't want to go. Well, the 30 is okay of taking it. Nope. They're both just floating around here. The 10 years like doesn't even care anymore. Level 2 is just changing based on the up and down takeover here. Okay. That's curious. I'm gonna scratch this. So they sold and they only offered 500 there, so I am, yeah. It's a very weak opening range. Where did I get short at 10? No, it was 10.5. So most of you see this when they ticked through it. That was kind of what scared me out. This thing is still kind of holding. But like the way that they've been doing it, because there was some size here at 10.5 at one point, right? Well, you do got stuff behind it, but that kind of makes me think maybe they're gonna go through it. Especially since the book was so bearish, and when they got the downtick, they didn't really do anything with it. And now it's the bull's turn, and the book is actually getting weaker.
Some news coming out of America here. White House economic advisor Kudlow says a strong dollar is a sign of confidence. He's currently having an interview with CNBC.
Maybe that's why people aren't moving, because they're waiting to see if Kudlow's going to say something. Either way, I think at the moment that the time risk isn't worth it. I mean, it's been here almost 20 minutes now. The fake news media is the opposition party. It is very bad for our great country, but we are winning. I don't know. I think what I should do is I should wait for it to tick up and let them hit into 11 and see what happens. White House's Cutlow says steady dollar is a sign of confidence. Yeah, they pulled away and some people immediately hit into it. Yeah, that bit is trying to push.
Some news out of Sweden here, seeing the Swedish government saying they see 2018 growth of 2.9% versus a forecast of 2.6%.
No, that's good for them, I guess.
They see 2019 GDP growth of 2.1% versus a June forecast, well, named 2.1%. British government going to say they see the 2018 CPIF rising 2.1% versus a 2019 CPIF up 1.9%. Some news out of Turkey now. Turkey's central bank says opens a $300 million 1-month lira NDF sale auction.
Okay. Note that they gave the sellers a reasonable opportunity to sell it, and the sellers didn't want it. That was my read on that last bit. See, people are going to buy into 11 again.
A piece coming from the FC here, seeing from Volvo Cars is said to press ahead with an IPO. Some news out of Italy, given the recent events. Italy said to weigh fines as one option for penalising Atlantia. More news from Italy again. Italy saying they're going to announce revocation process as soon as today. No, I mean, the reason of flagging this is just given the recent moves in the FTSE MIB.
This is a little frustrating because we saw a really strong signal long. Well, let's not say that it's long because it's kind of a shenanigan. It's kind of play, and it did pull away, but we did see something kind of crazy happen. They traded through it. It pulled away. Then nothing.
The finance minister.
And then we tick back up and nothing.
It says there's big risk to the Swedish economy. We will put those comments from Sweden's finance minister on our board.
You can see though that the pulling is mostly that the offers are pulling. Level 2 games.
Just a heads up that conference call with Turkey's finance minister Albayrak is starting now. Some more information here from Kadlo. He says Trump was dissatisfied with Turkey on trade.
Really? This whole time, during this whole crisis, I thought that he was really happy with them and just trying to work out whatever they could to save the Turkish economy, and that they were all good buds and everything. What a fucking stupid comment. What the hell? It seems like that the offers are disappearing above us, the bids are building up below us. The way is clear, but they are not taking it yet. I shouldn't say it's clear, but it's giving it more and more of an opening.
Padlo now commenting on the pasta, saying the pasta detained by Turkey is unrelated to steel duties.
Oh, okay, sure.
From here, just going back to Turkey now, Turkey Finance Minister Albayrak tells investors on conference call will come out of this volatility stronger.
So the buyers had it. They didn't take it. Hardly anybody came through. Now we tick down. Hardly anybody wants to sell it.
Some more here from Turkey, just going on to say we fully understand and recognise all domestic challenges.
Sure you do.
Some more again from Turkey. He's saying we are dealing with market anomaly now.
Okay. Well, I liked that long. Maybe I should have bailed earlier, but I guess we just gotta take our look.
Yeah, more from Turkey, Albayrak, saying banking sector is healthy and strong. Here from the Sweden finance minister saying Swedish banks have no big exposure to Turkey.
Hmm. Okay, ticking up and not holding a super strong bid yet. I'd also say when we moved down that these offers didn't thicken up. So this could still work out for us.
It's more from Albayrak saying doing stress tests currently on non-performing loans.
They hear me say that and they're like, oh no, we got to make sure we stop Seth out first. Go and stop Seth out at 095 and then we can move up.
Albayrak telling investors Turkey central bank reserves more than $90 billion. Goes on to say corporates in comfortable position to meet short-term liabilities.
Okay. Well, the one thing I will say is that the polling still appears to be... The book still appears to be... oh, why am I saying that? That was a poll, okay? Like, the offers pulled there. You can get blue right there, right? But the book is still bearish overall. Super bearish. Came back, but then it didn't go, and we came down. That come down, we didn't see the book increase, but we did see the polling. So it could have been...
Albayrak again saying we have already taken measures to curb FX funding.
Could have been just from these comments that we're hearing. Could just be random, because it's not like there's a ton of trades going through here or anything. Could have been a trap.
Albayrak goes on to say we won't hesitate to provide support to the banking sector.
ZB is catching a bit of volume and is starting to look a little bullish, though. I think I pulled the trigger on the wrong price. Like, I think maybe it would be okay to buy 10. And that's at the bottom of this range. They've come down there several times and hardly anybody wants to hit into 0.95.
Back to the lira. Bids in Turkey lira settled forward FX auction at $90 million. Average dollar lira price at 5.84161.
The 30-year still looks like a buy to me, but it's not going. Well, a weak offer, but it did fight there.
Reducing inflation, top priority. Just to clarify that, he means that reducing inflation will be a top priority. Goes on to say he wants inflation in single digits as early as possible. Kudlow, back to the US again. Kudlow says no downside to trade disputes as economy is growing.
I'm not so sure I agree with that part, Kudlow. I think that these trade disputes, just looking at yesterday's numbers, appear to have hurt us considerably. Manufacturing wasn't as good as we expected because we're not getting new orders, and inventories are lower than expected because people shipped everything out as fast as they could before the tariffs came in. And so if the economy is going to weaken off of the tariffs, it really hasn't begun yet. We're only just starting to see the first canaries drop. And you give it another quarter of this nonsense, and it will get ugly, I think. You gotta cut a deal, guys. That's what I think. Find that a little suspicious. Yep.
Back to Turkey. Turkey finance minister goes on to say prudent fiscal trajectory is a key priority.
So the 5-year ticks up, the 10-year wants to do it, but they're not taking it. There may be an iceberg waiting underneath of it. Yeah. Bid's holding, but it's not building. 30 years going nowhere. Even though the book in the 30 years still, well, it's changed a little bit, but it still kind of looks like they might want to buy it. Okay, I think I made a mistake here when we're moving up. When did I take this? Just before the top of the hour.
Some info from Fitch Ratings here. End of ECB QE could push up global bond yields.
Oh, that's not good. That could, I mean, market's probably already factored that in, but that would be more selling. I think to take a trade just before 7 o'clock, and we know that there's always a little bit of a dead period up there at the top of the hour. So it really wasn't a good trade. If we wanted to buy, we should have waited for it to come down to 10, and we could be buying 10 here. Emporos Capital, do you use the power meter of Jigsaw sometimes? No, I don't, because treasuries are so slow, and the volume can be so choppy that the power meter doesn't really give you a whole lot. It basically just always says nothing's happening. And you'll get a little spike, and it will kind of make the needle move a little bit, and then nothing. And I haven't found it to be that helpful for treasuries.
That Fitch piece on the ECB is now up on our board for those that want to read it.
I only tested it for like 2 days. That was like, no. Okay, so tick up. Much better bid that time, and the 5-year is up another tick from when we reset. The 5-year is up 2. The 10 and the 30 are up 1. The offer is pulling away quite significantly. 3,400 pulled there. I think that is something we maybe should pay attention to. How much pulls is significant? It seems like 1,000 is like normal, but 36 is significant.
Will never be in Turkey's agenda.
Well, that's good. Well, level 2 flipping around a little bit. That bid is not as solid as I would prefer. I suppose that because this is kind of more of a back tick, that the pulling at 10.5 is not necessarily a good thing. If they buy into it, maybe it's a lure. It was a lot that they bought up to 10 too. 41.89. Like the cumulative delta has been flat through most of this, but it's kind of feels like a lot of people shorted here.
Saying, well, reiterating the same really, no IMF plans.
No IMF plans. They don't need it. Okay. So it was not a lure.
The lira trading up around 4% on the dollar as Albarak speak. Continuing to gain a bit more strength really on the back of these comments.
I mean, maybe there was somebody sitting there, but the pressure definitely continued through it.
Some American equity news here. Just seeing Bernstein raise price target for Tesla to 25 from 265.
So the pull here at 11 was not significant. It was only 1,600. And the 30-year is actually not pulling at all. So 30-year actually concerns me a little bit because the overall volume was actually a sell there. There's a sell at 20.
More from Albarak again, talking about fiscal policy. Fiscal discipline targets be reached by tighter spending, no deviation from a fiscal path.
We're kind of back to that, you know, if you could just get one tick up, it could look really, really positive, but they're not going for it. I suppose that things aren't quite lined up for it to go for it. I mean, if the 30-year ticks up, the level 2 flipped, and then maybe we could be ready to go. But the 30-year is not doing that yet. Even though good bits underneath of us. Okay, this bid is actually absorbing quite a few contracts. Okay. Quite a bit stacked at 10.5. And I like that some immediately ticked into 11.5 for a new high. New RTH high at least. Okay, now don't like what I'm seeing at 12. There's a bit more volume that could come through here though. It's this right here. I'm gonna watch that. Okay. Well, now that I've scratched it, it can go up, right? Yeah, I don't think that was right. I think getting out there is not a bad idea because I didn't realize it when I took it, but the E-mini is about to open. So you can get a little bit of volatility here now. The E-mini is actually relatively high.
Policy saying not enough loan to buy inflation.
The thing is they could move all the way up to 28.40 at least in the E-mini.
Goes on to say coordinated, well-balanced approach between monetary policy and fiscal is needed.
So if we had played that one right, we could have gotten 2 out of that. But we didn't do it right. We bought high. We did not follow our plan. Okay, so see, that's what I was worried about exactly right there. It's the E-mini making a buying run and going up to 28.40 on the open, and Treasuries coming down. And the cumulative delta in the 30 years starting to look negative. So you can see there. And looks negative. The 10-year looking possibly negative. It's hard to say because in this one, like, look, here was some liquidity, right? Okay, it came up, some of this pulled, so we came back through and we went through that. But now there's still the one at 12. And it's so slow. I feel like even though it is buying and from a technicals perspective, we could continue going up. I also feel like it's so slow that a wall like that is more likely to hold. So like, you could sell it there, but oh, look who's back. Almost. Okay, a little pulling there. Oh, there's an iceberg I missed. Oh, a lot of volume went through there in the 30-year.
Any more comments from the Turkish finance minister now? It will be announcing sources. That was a weak attempt by me. So do you think it knows, like, do you think the flag goes, yeah, that big thing, it's trying to kill me? Maybe I should stay away from it? Or does it just have such a short memory you know, it's like I should fly away from there, but then it forgets and it comes back. How does that work? I'm surprised that the fly is still here. Oh, there they finally took it. Well, a little bit pulled there, but it's still strong at 6. Somebody might be setting up a level break here. Come on, just land over here with your butt pointed towards my thing so I can kill you. Well, is this gonna go through? There's enough people going in a level break here. It could happen. Like that level break in this kind of context is like a 50-50 thing. So there's a 50% chance that we're gonna go through that. Now the interesting thing is that if we do go through that, I don't necessarily see a whole lot at 13. We'll see how it thickens up if we go through it, but there are some people adding at 13.
Block by.
Whew. Okay. So they did thicken up there at 13. Now it's almost 6,000. So they did pull a level break, and it did not create chaos there. So I'm wondering now. The thing is that this guy bought here as a level break. My gosh, this fucking fly, dude. There was a level break there, and it didn't really create that many stops. That could tell the buyers that they just need to keep pushing further. That they can push further, and that the longs are just too. You know what I mean? But when you get a block buy like that, and it was at what, 12? We're just gonna put Tyler there. They very often try and bury him. They try and say, oh, okay, a guy bought here. Let's see if we can move the market against him and get him to puke out at, 10 or something. I mean, if Treasuries took another move up here, it would be super, super bullish, but there is the resistance there, and the chances of that are pretty unlikely, I think. Okay.
Or from the Turkish finance minister saying would like to meet investors soon. Call on.
So if we wanted to buy, we could buy 10. Actually, could buy 11.5 too, but weak offer. Very weak offer. Okay. ZB's hitting some real resistance here. Nice cameo by the fly.
Cable of higher now. Well, euro dollar hanging right. Political news now. EU set to set August 21st meeting. China against China on the solar duties.
I don't know. I think that the E-mini is going to move down. I can see the support building here. So there's my 10. Well, it's a little unusual to see an iceberg like that there. And, well, 1300 pulled. We'll see. It's not giving me enough information to take a trade. See, that's not necessarily supposed to happen. The E-mini is looking like they can make another run.
Just getting an update now on the GDP. Well, coming in at 4.3%. That's unchanged from yesterday. Again, unchanged on the Fed. 4.3%.
So there's been a lot of buying that's been absorbed through here. At all three of these prices. It's just incredibly weak for a long time. The 5-year is not selling through this, by the way. So when we came down through here, this is really weird because we bought here, we bought the curve is steepening a little bit. Not a ton, but it is steepening. And we're really just like right where you would want to buy it. And buy it at 10.5 with the theory that it's not going to touch on 9.5. Of course, they could come to 09.5 and bounce there. Anywhere in this area is like a VWAP bounce. There should probably be some good support here. Okay. The E-mini came up, but they're actually net selling it. Okay, well, it did touch 09.5, which I did not think was going to happen. If we get what happened yesterday was we had a move down like this. It was stronger. It was much more crazy, and it bounced right off of the open at 09. So that, of course, means that they're going to have to do something different this time, right? The 5-year really came back there.
Just picking up on a piece of Fitch reading now that's the end of ECB could push up global bond yields, and from Fitch readings at the end of ECB could push up global bond yields.
It's pulling at 10.5 too easily. The E-mini is continuing to sell. Okay.
Comments now from the German Finance Minister Schulz, speaking with the Turkish counterparts that Germany does has an interest in stable Turkey.
Almost. I'm always so close. Looks like the train might leave without us, folks. I mean, technically you could buy 10.5. It's just 3 ticks of risk then at that point. Well, there's your 2. But the seller's not giving up at 11. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting them to go through here, but they could continue. I don't see any reason for them to stop there. That E-mini just not going, is it? Now that's curious that everything at 10 pulled. We are like still in the same spot in the queue. Wow, and still not filled.
Market news now, minutes from the Mexican central bank that the inflation or the peso comes under pressure. That's due to environment of higher external rates, dollar strength, and uncertainty over NAFTA. central bank recognizes that the risk of adverse result in after reaction has diminished.
Well, the E-mini is not giving it up. This is a curious place to just hover around, you know? Trump posting again. The Boston Globe, which was sold to the failing New York Times for $1.3 billion plus $800 million in losses in investment, or $2.1 billion, was then sold by the Times for $1. Now the Globe is in collusion with other papers on free press. Prove it. There's nothing that I would want more for our country than true freedom of the press. The fact that the press is free to write and say anything it wants. The fact is that the press is free to write and say anything it wants, but much of what it says is fake news, pushing a political agenda, or just plain trying to hurt people. Honesty wins. A fucking man.
The German government source now is Berlin is in favor of that again, emerging market news. German government source, Berlin is in favor of IMF program for Turkey.
They're of course going to try and turn this tweet around on him and say, oh, you should be honest, huh? Well, here are all of the times that Donald Trump lied about something. You think they're ever going to fill us here? I think that what's going to happen is either A, I'm not going to get filled, and then it's going to go up and it's going to break a new high. Or B, it's going to go right through us and stop us out at 09. Those are the two scenarios I see happening right now. And then of course there's C, the one that we want, where we just barely get filled, and then we tick up. There's clearly more buyers and we move up to 13. That's what I would like to see. Germany favors IMF program for Turkey. Okay, so somebody just bid 4,000 at 10.5. Sorry, offered 4,000 at 10.5. Just like out of the blue. Even though we're net buying. Wow, somebody bought all of that. Okay. It's not stay in bid, they're fighting on it. That could have been bad. Let me move my mouse away from there. I want some straight click. Hmm. Look, this is ridiculous. I've had that order in there for almost 30 minutes now. $143. Okay. So it was kind of like what I said. Take forever for us to not get filled, and then when they fill, they're going to tick against us. E-mini looks like it is going to try and bust some highs. Man. Didn't know that the E-mini could be that slow. It takes up 30 people by it. What? I'd like to see just some big guy come in and sweep them all. It'd be kind of weird for the E-mini to creep up this slowly and then just blow through all of this resistance. Never seen it do that before. Never seen it just creep up slowly to the high.
Just a reminder, in 3 minutes' time, we do have the weekly EIA nat gas storage change. Looking at the expectations, expected to be a build of 31 BCF. That's a power build of 46 BCF, the range of 24 to 38.
Well, okay. Definitely emboldened buyers in the Treasuries.
Bit of commodity news now. That's Gazprom's NEF seeing room for output growth on the tech deal. 1 minute now until we get the EIA nat gas storage change.
Running out of time.
Seconds. Build of 33 BCF, a build of 33 BCF. Looking at the breakdown now from the EIA, the US Midwest nat gas stocks were up 24, while the nat gas from the east were up 17. Pacific were down 5, South Central were down 6, Salt Dome Cavern were down 10. Emerging market news now. Comments from the Turkish presidential spokesman, and that they have taken the necessary measures in the financial market to shield it from speculative attack.
It's kind of messed up that you even have to do that, but that's the world.
The Turkish presidential spokesman is saying it's not after happening.
Okay. Interesting. This is just kind of crappy action, so I really I mean, I saw the signal when I took it the first time. It was only actually good for 2 ticks. Then it came through us. But it's holding here, and there's this huge order in the 5-year. I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know if this is gonna go either way. It may sit here for another 30 minutes. For all I know. Well, they're having a hard time holding a bid at 0.95 now. I don't know. I think we should give it some more time because I like that we got this 4K here. This is one of the largest we've seen in a while in the 5-year. And the E-mini just looks ripe for selling. It's been such a slow move up. I did see, signals to go along. It's just now we're 1 tick lower and we're hovering at 0.95. Which shouldn't have been the case. We wanted to catch 10 and be hovering between 10 and 11 and being able to just go, okay, let's take +1 now. Okay, so that tick down in the 5-year was bad. There's the E-mini, the sign they can make a run at 28.42. And that big order in the 30 years gone. Sorry, in the 5 years gone. When that traded, did it just completely pull? I have to investigate and add that to my thread. So in retrospect, it was kind of a strange thing to just all of a sudden show up, wasn't it? Yep. Okay. Well, it was only -2. I think the problem on that one, well, let's go back through the trades because we don't have a whole lot of time. Okay, so this one we bought it at, you know what, that doesn't show me in ticks, you need to fix that. 0.95. Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna say yes, yes. Okay. This one, what was it? The sell at 105? What time? $6.50.
Bit more emerging market news now from the Argentine central bank, saying it has hiked the reserve requirements on some banks by 3 percentage points.
I'm gonna say just kind of flat face for did I follow my plan, because it's just kind of like a, you know, whatever. This one though, this one held too long. So I'm gonna say that was a bad trade because I didn't follow my plan. But I was able to hold it, so that's good. Okay.
Canadian political news now. Comments from Canadian Prime Minister.
This one.
Early election this. Also market. Presidential. Channels for speculation. Johnson.
So let's analyze this last one a little bit more. Okay. So I was at 10, went to 9. Yeah. I think that today's just a really slow day. I think after this whole thing right here, like missing that was pretty much it. Nothing else was gonna happen after that. But slow day. Anyways, I'd like to get going. So it's okay. Big pain in the butt went long at 18 in ZB and wound up scratching it. Oh wow. Well, yeah, this is a slow day, so it happens. I mean, the volume is still up in the Treasuries, so it could still go up, and we're still kind of like at the support area, like where we started, so they could make another move, but I think they're going to want to try and test the other side at this point, now that they're on the other side of the VWAP. So, we'll see. But it's kind of like, who cares? It's such a crappy market today. Who really cares? Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.